Hello, ladies.
Hello, everybody. Today we've got the Junior Women's Ranking Show for 2024. We are going to go over our top 10 lifters for this year. We got some special guests on. We got, I'm sure you all know, Agata Sitko. We've got Leanne Lee. Some of you might be less familiar because she has been on the American side up till now. We'll see how that goes in the future. We got, hopefully I pronounced it right, Betty Aborah. Is that good enough? Okay,
Yeah.
and we've got Big Body, who is joining us again. You guys want to all just introduce yourself real quickly? Agatha, go first.
Um, oh, I like 15 points.
Okay, Leanne.
Hi, I'm Leanne. I am a 48 or 47 kg lifter. I have not had the privilege to go over to IPF just yet. I've been on the USAPL on the America side, so I'm excited to see what the future holds. But thanks for inviting me on the show.
Okay, Betty.
I'm Betty. I'm 22. I am a 63 powerlifter, 63 kilo powerlifter, um, junior champion, and I'm excited to be here.
Okay, Big Body.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Ferrati, also known as Big Body. I coach in powerlifting for about 6 years now, and I'm a part of Flex Training Systems, and I'm blessed to be here with these lovely athletes and Big Mike himself of future powerlifting.
Okay, so let's just jump straight to it. We will start our list. I will start with my number 10. I'll try to pronounce this correctly. At number 10, I have Georgia Burton. She's a 69 kilo lifter. She competed at Junior World. She competed at Junior Euros. She put up 530 kilos in a very tight battle. Came second in both those. She's a really strong lifter. She has the Junior World record squat. I believe she has another year left in the juniors, but don't. I'm not 100% sure about that, so I guess we'll have to see about that. Yeah, that's who I have for number 10. Let's go to Big Body. We'll have you go next.
So for me, one of the lifters that really stood out, I believe, was actually not too long after United States Nationals, American Nationals, powerlifting American Nationals. I saw, well, first for context, Tiffany Savage had taken first place in the vacancy of Amanda Lawrence. And, coming off of that high, I'm thinking about just the future and what next could take place. And then I discovered, I hope I say this right, Erho Love or Erho Love. And this athlete just stood out strongly for me. And what really stood out, especially, she had a phenomenal squat. Obviously, bench was enough to be competitive. I'm pretty sure she's been working on it, but that deadlift was something that was like, okay, I need to keep my eye on this athlete because not only is she young, but she's very strong. Um, she has a 541 dots, 110.9 GL, and she had totaled, I believe it was at Euros, where she had posted her best performance of 583 kg, which is like, for me, seeing there's not a lot of 84 kg young ladies out here doing that. That's like, where did she come from? And obviously she's probably been working for a while and been known well on the come up in Great Britain. But the world is so vast, and so this athlete, although she is not, I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet, but to my knowledge, she's not a junior world champion. I don't believe she's done any towards the past. Um, she really stands out, and I believe that she's definitely a contender to be, a threat, especially in the open within the coming years. Especially when you look at a 583 um, total, at her age being a junior, there's not a lot of young ladies doing that. So Erho Love stands out for me. I have her at 10th in my list.
Okay. Betty, let's go to you next.
I was thinking Marie Jose, or maybe if I pronounce it, Mary. I don't know how I would pronounce it in English, but she's another Dutch lifter. She hasn't been lifting super long, but she's like really strong and she's really coming up. I think she did, if I open powerlifting, she did 525 open nets last year. Yeah, I feel like she's really blowing up really fast, and she might be someone we have to look at.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't have this one on my list, so I'm just gonna talk. So she was in great battle at Junior Worlds in the 69s. The 69s
Yeah,
were like really close.
yeah,
I think there was like 4 lifters like all like pulling for the win. So the 69s are tough, and
yeah,
we'll definitely see her more on the world stage.
yeah,
So
definitely. And I think
uh,
whenever she learns to hold on to her last deadlift, because that's really a downfall for her, she's probably gonna be, she might be one of of the very strong people coming up.
agree. Agata, who do you have at number 10?
So at number 10, I was debating for a moment putting Georgia there as well, but to me, the 69 kilo battle was too close to choose one of them and put on my list. So I've decided to put Clara Perot at number 10 with a 557.5 kilo total. She placed 6th at Open Worlds in a very stacked weight class that the 76s are. And yeah, I think we're going to see more of her in the coming years. Just recently moved to the 76s. So I think we're going to see some big progress from her.
Do we know how old she is? Like if she's gonna still be a junior?
She's from 2002. So next
Oh,
year.
one more year. Okay. Leanne, you know.
My 10th, I would say Janae Kovacs. I've competed against her before. She's been on the USAPL side, but I think she has the potential to be great. Her DOTS is 542 and she's totaled 1151. She has a pretty big deadlift. And she's only 21. So I think she has a lot of potential and a lot of growth.
Okay, yeah, she's right. She's definitely going to be one of the not as well known because she's one of the Americans who hasn't competed internationally yet, but she is very strong. And I believe she competed at 67 and a half. So she could also has a little bit of weight to gain into the 69. Okay, so let's move on to number 9. At number 9, I have Era Love. Um, she is insanely strong for an 84. She pulled, I believe it was 263 to set the junior world record deadlift. I think taking it from Amanda and very close to the open world record, which is I think 268 or 269. So she's right there, one of the strongest deadlifters in the world. She only competed once this year, but she had a pretty good battle at Open Euros. She did Open Euros and won against her teammate, I think, and the other Great Britain lifter. So we're not sure where she's at now because that was the beginning of the year, and it's been like 9 months without her on platform. So hopefully she's progressing. We'll see what she can do into the Open because, as far as I know, I believe we haven't had a second 84 total 600 at like the international stage in a really,
I
really long
think
time.
Ziana total 600 at Open Worlds. I'm not 100% sure, but let
I
me check.
I have to check that up because let me check that up right now actually.
Oh no, she totaled 592.5.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Pretty
because
close.
I keep remembering because every time I look at like the 84 rankings, for Open Juniors, any of it, like all I see is like Amanda and then Daniela still, like those two 84s. Like it's crazy how they were both beyond, like
I mean,
they were I think like 19 and 20 when they battled it out like the first time, and since then like there hasn't been another 84 to really like get to that spot yet. Like it's still just Amanda and then like everyone else. So obviously 600 is still a long way away from Amanda, but I expect Love to break 600 and to possibly also be the first non 84 plus to pull 600 pounds. I think definitely possible. So yeah, I think hopefully, I don't know if she had an injury or just didn't have any specific meets to compete at, but hopefully in 2025 she's going to like go all out, do some meets, and like show what she's capable of.
So she was supposed to
Yeah, I
compete at
think.
Open
Oh,
Worlds.
sorry.
She was
Yeah.
supposed to compete at Open Worlds, but had to pull out last minute because of an injury.
Oh, okay. It also happens to be. I mean,
Yeah.
that isn't. I mean, that's one of the stronger classes in GB, the 84. So like, it's not the easiest class to get the spot. Like you said, Ziana totaled 592 and a half. So just to get that spot, I mean, maybe they could probably send two 84s, but it's not going to be a guaranteed spot.
Yeah, I also think she's aging out next year because I think she's 23 now. So I believe this was her last year as a junior.
Oh, I believe you're right. But I was thinking this coming year at Open World.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. At junior, I mean, if she competed this year at Junior World, she would have won. Like, I mean, assuming she was healthy by a lot. Like, I think the winning total in the 84s at Junior Worlds was like in the 550s. So,
Oh, damn.
yeah. I mean, the 84s just there hasn't been people like to go crazy. Like 84s and the 76s at Junior Worlds have not had like anyone like go crazy. So I think
Yeah.
also, so we'll see. I mean, the 84 is just, I think, is not a super deep class yet. And then a lot of the classes we see, like some people that do Open World don't also do Junior World. So it's a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Body, who do you have at number 9?
So this is probably going to be a little bit of an unorthodox pick. But again, I'm just going on my rankings list based off athlete stat really stand out. And, I'm just looking to put a lot into potential. Obviously, the higher parts of my picks definitely include champions because that is just something that's extremely important to me. But this athlete does not hold one to my knowledge. Her name is Listis Ebosele. She is a phenomenal talent. She's definitely a larger female at around 90 kg. I know that according to the knowledge that I currently have, I'm not sure if she's taking powerlifting as serious these days anymore, but I mean, anytime as a female you can go over 600 kilograms, that's just very impressive to me, and especially doing it as a junior. There was just so many things hearing about how she was supposed to potentially cut down to 84. I know that she is also, she does with the social media influencing, and she's pretty big there. And I believe she's a Gymshark athlete. Those things are not the reasons why I have her on this list, but it's more so of those things come to you and are attracted to you from the work that you do, from your potential and what you've been able to obviously do in competition, right? And so for those that know powerlifting, Listis, she, what we would say here in the States, she's benched like something around what, over 300 pounds, 3 plates. She does like 145 kg, I believe. That's like, you just show up to the gym randomly and you see, just, a young lady come through and just, 145 kg, how you doing? That's like, whoa, where did this come from, right? She has a very strong squat. I do believe, to my knowledge, I've seen her do around 245 keys. She might have done even more than that. I've seen her pull upwards of around that range as well, or maybe upwards of 240. She probably has done more. But yeah, she's just an athlete that, again, doesn't have a championship on the resume. I'm not sure where she wants to go with the sport moving forward. If she's watching this, I definitely encourage her to not give up. I think she's a phenomenal talent, and I believe that she can continue to aspire inspire a lot of young athletes around the world, and old as well. Who knows, right? So yeah, she really stands out on my list. I have listed as the number ninth female junior in the world.
Yeah, so I just want to point out about that. So first, she did win. She won Junior World last year in 2023.
Yeah, not 2024, right?
Right. So right, I was actually considering her on my list. I only didn't because she didn't really compete much this year. She did the Arnold UK where she had a very good meet, but like it's still. But then she did like her nationals or something where she just like sandbagged, but then she didn't compete. I don't know, like you said, I don't know how seriously she's taking powerlifting, and it's also very difficult because I can't tell how tall she is, but she looks really tall, like somewhere close to 6 feet maybe. And the problem there is like it'll be extremely difficult to make 84s, but then if you go 84 plus, you're really battling with people like that are like 100 pounds heavier than you. So you're really kind of stuck in that like middle
She's
spot.
stuck
like,
in a hard spot. Yeah.
It's like she could go 84 and like try to like battle for a podium spot, like at open worlds even. It's possible. Like I don't, depending on how much strength like she loses through cutting, but like 84 plus to commit to 84 plus like is very difficult. I mean, we've seen one example of it, which is Sonita, who was an 84 for a bunch of years and then committed 84 plus. But it's a big commitment to make to like gain all that weight to be competitive. Like you're not going to be competitive weight like with the 80. Like maybe back in the day, like even 5 years ago when the 84 pluses were totaling like mid sixes, like the best ones, you could have done it. But now, like with the 84 pluses leveling up and like having like we're gonna see in the next like 2 years, probably like five, maybe even more 84 pluses over 700. And I don't know that anyone's gonna do that weighing 90, 95 kilos. So it's a very difficult task, but she's definitely a strong lifter.
100%.
Betty, who do you have at number 9?
I think I have Angelina. I don't know if I pronounced it wrong, right, but I feel like she really came out of nowhere because I competed with her last Worlds last year, and she was just super strong. I think we totaled the same. Yeah, and I think she's getting much stronger in a very short amount of time. So I think she's also gonna get really strong.
Yeah, funny thing about her actually is she's the lifter here I'm by far the most familiar with. I've actually coached against her in US multiple times.
Oh, wow.
And now she actually goes to my gym. So I see her every day. Yeah, I mean her progress has been crazy. Like she just squatted, I think it was like 175 or either 175 or oh no, it was 185, which is like 15 kilos over what she did at World. Her deadlift's going crazy now. Like she like paused 230, which is crazy. So you and her are gonna have some deadlift battles. I believe though she's aging out of juniors, so she will not be a junior this coming year. But I mean, she's trying. She signed up for nationals. She's going to try to make a world team spot for the U.S., which is quite difficult. But yeah, I mean, if not, she'll probably go international, like NAPF or something, try to set a deadlift world record or just increase her total. She is extremely strong. It was hard for me to pick her just because there was like a couple other 63s. Like some of these classes just have like a lot of lifters that did really well. And in general, some of the formulas, like she's higher up on some of the formulas, but some of the formulas like skew towards like the middle weight classes. Like I think probably like I would, if I had to guess, like the 57s through 69s probably are helped like the most by the formula. Same way like by the men, it's like the 74s and 83s. So, and it's like I think in general, the formulas really hurt the light and heavy weight classes. Like to be like at the top of the list in either like the 84 or 120 plus or like the 47s and 59s, like those classes, like it's like near impossible to be the highest on formula. So that's why it's like a combination of everything. Agata, who do you have for number 9?
I also have Listus as my number 9 because she holds the 84 plus kilo junior total world record at the body weight of 89 kilos, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, I think she's like moving away from powerlifting a little bit, focusing on being a well-rounded athlete and more of a influencer, unfortunately, because she was really strong and was making lots of progress. But her Arnold performance was enough for me to put her at my number 9.
Okay, that's a good pick. Leanne, who do you have for number 9?
Number 9, I have Natalie Hunter. She recently competed at in Malta this past Worlds. Um, I I've competed against her before. She's very strong. She has a lot of potential. Her dots is, or yeah, I guess y'all use like GLP points or GL points, but her dots is a 540. Um, she also is 21, so again, a lot of room to grow. Um, she's yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely another one of the strong. She's a 63 also. And so so you said she's 21, so she's gonna have be junior for at least one more year. So I guess we'll probably see her on the international stage. She also has like a extremely strong squat, right? She squatted something pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think she
Yes.
squatted 193 off the top of my head, or 193 and a half, I think.
I have to check up, who has the world record squat in that class?
I think right now it might be Alba, because I remember her and Alba were like kind of battling
Oh
for
no,
the record.
it's her. She squatted 195.5.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, she's an extremely strong squatter. I mean, I believe she's even squatted like she squatted like 200 or 202 like in a local or national meet. But she's a phenomenal squatter and a really strong lifter. So that's a good pick. Um, on to number 8. Number 8, I have another lifter from that 69 class, Andorina uh, Bouchard. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that correctly. So she was also at Junior Worlds and at Euros, and in great battles in both of them, just closely beat Georgia both times. So she totaled 532.5. She actually has like by formulas, she's actually lower than Georgia because I noticed Georgia like weighs in like at like 66, which leads me to wonder if she'll make the cut to 63. If she's weighing at 66, that's like really
Crazy.
split between. Yeah, I mean, I wonder. The truth is, she's she's Italian, and Italy has some crazy 63s. So I don't know.
Are you talking about Georgia or?
Yeah, Georgia. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, and Rina's French.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens to be. So she's been involved in a bunch of good battles this year and last year. Also, she's crazy strong. She had at one point some of the like squat records and other records. Now she doesn't have any of the actual records, but she has the more important things, which is she won at Junior Worlds and at Euros. So she's crazy strong, and she's born in 2002, so she will be a junior this year, and she'll probably try to push it and see if she can take some of the records or just try to add some more championships to her list, and that's all. Big Body, who do you have for number 8?
Yeah, you actually took my pick as well. So yeah, I have Andorina Bouchot. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Bouchot, Andorina. Came in with, I mean, you said a good amount, but she came in with 197.5 squat. Believe she missed her third on bench, recorded 110 on her bench, and then won with a 225 deadlift, which is very impressive for a 69 kg junior powerlifter. 110.36 GL, 532.5 total. Close battle with another very talented lifter, Georgia. I would love to have put her on the list, but despite Georgia, obviously, like you said, having the higher GL, she did just barely miss the mark and lose the junior championship by about what was that, 4.5 keys? 520, yeah. So yeah, very impressive lifter, 69 kg junior world champion. I have Andorina as my 8th best junior female in the world.
Okay. Betty, who do you have for number 8?
I think I'm gonna go with Samantha Eugenie. I have no clue. But I think she used to be a 63 lifter and then she went up to the 69s. And although she is injured right now, I think, I'm not sure. I do think she's really strong, and if she like how do you say it? If she's not injured anymore, I think that she could be really, really strong.
Yeah, I agree. She like what she was 63. She had like some phenomenal performances at other junior worlds and stuff. I don't think she even competed this year, so I didn't like include her on my list. But um, she was injured. I believe Big Body Joey coaches her. Is that true?
Who is it?
Does Joey coach her? Samantha Eugene?
From France?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So I think she was injured, which is why she didn't compete this year. But she's crazy strong. She held like a lot of like the sub junior and then some of the junior records before they got pushed. But yeah, she went up from 63 to 69, and she's still young. Like I think she's 21, so she definitely has a couple more years in the juniors. So we'll definitely, hopefully, if she's healthy, see her back on the international stage, and just on any powerlifting stage next year.
Yeah.
Agata, who do you have for number 8?
Number 8, I have Betty Aborah. Is that right?
Stop it. Stop it.
She placed second at Junior Worlds. She also competed at Euro Muscle Show and placed second. And I have her at number 8 because of her open deadlift world record, which she took away from Joy Namani, who is a legend. So that's like a massive deadlift to 33 kilos for a 63. Massive, and making progress. She's gonna get really strong in the coming years. I mean, she's already strong, but probably gonna get
You're
much
making me
stronger.
blush.
Okay. Leanne, who do you have for number 8?
I also have Betty on my number 8. I've been able to watch you compete and kind of go through your videos and things like that, but same reason.
Okay. On to number 7. At number 7, I have Leanne Lee.
Oh my gosh.
I believe you totaled 410, right? 410 and that?
Yeah.
410 as 47, which is just crazy. 47s have been making some good progress lately. Heather Connor won 47 worlds multiple times, and I believe none of the times at worlds where she won, she even totaled 400. Now we have like, I think 4 or 5 lifters into the, like, not just at 400, but like into the 400s, 420s, 430s. So I know you haven't had a chance to compete internationally yet. Are you competing at Powerlifting American Nationals this year, or do you not know?
The plan is to switch over for sure. As of whether I'm gonna do it next year, I competed like 3 times this past year, so my body is wrecked. Um, so me and Marcellus and I were just trying to decide whether that's gonna be a thing. Initially I wanted to, and then after competing at these pro finale in December, I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. So
Okay.
if anything, we'll probably skip this year and then 2026, probably, yeah.
I mean, that works. Listen, a year to be healthy and build is just like good. When you compete a lot, you're like running into a brick wall. Getting that like recovery and the extra time, especially because nationals is like what? I think it's in like March, end of March or
Yeah.
something.
It's in
So it's
April,
like,
I think.
oh, April. Okay, so it's like you don't have a ton of time to get ready for it this year. Like especially if you're feeling beaten up now. So giving yourself just time to build um, will definitely be good. I mean, I know Marcellus is a great coach, so I mean, last year he had Megan in the 52s, and last year like she missed weight, and then this year she came back and smashed it, and then went to World. So definitely would be great. Also, the 47s and Nationals would be a great battle if we get to see all of you guys there and healthy. We get to see you and Jessica and Heather, obviously, and there's probably others coming up that I'm not even aware of yet, but it would definitely be a fun battle. So yeah, that's
Yeah, and I think something probably don't know, but Jessica and I have competed against each other since high school. So back in
oh
like
really?
2017. I think it would be awesome to be able to share a platform with her. That'd be cool.
So you're
Again,
also from Texas,
yes.
right? Okay, Texas is like the only place people like are really competing much in high school. So
Yeah.
that actually that is really cool to like have a rivalry from high school through the juniors into the open. Like that is pretty cool. I believe your age, you're 2001, right?
Yeah, so I'm aging out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Big body. Who do you have for number 7?
This is a tough one. Oh, by the way, I got a live update for you all regarding Sam. Sam had a surgery. So Joe's working to get her back to speed. She had a surgery. She has a health condition in which something regarding her vital organs. So she's gotten that cleaned up. They're doing much better now, and they're picking up training to speed. But yeah, she had a surgery regarding her organs. So that's what's going on with Sam. But for my 7th pick, this one is actually going to be the next two will be consecutive. I mean, I think a good amount has been said. I have Angelina Martinez. I think that first of all, to the 66 junior women, that class is incredible. That class is just stacked. I mean, if you look in the top four, Natalie Hunter, Angelina Martinez, yourself, Betty, and Alba. I mean, that's like it's a lot of heat to deal with in one class in a championship battle. So a lot of kudos to all you great, phenomenal lifters. But yeah, I have Angelina at 7th. Um, she missed her third squat, came in with 167.5 as a recorded second attempt, 102.5 as the third attempt bench, 225, another phenomenal deadlift, and 495 kilos. It's like just very strong for a young junior 63. And yeah, I have Angelina as my number 7th junior in the world.
Okay. Betty, on to you. Who do you have for number 7?
I think I have Clara Peyro. I think I'm really butchering these names.
I
But I
think
think
I think that was actually correct.
yes, that's new. I think she finished 6th place in Lithuania in the open. Let me see which competition this was. I have no clue which competition, but I think it was
Open
Euros
World.
or
Open World,
Open.
yeah.
nice. And I think she's still 22, so she's really young. But to be getting 6th in, I think the 76s in the open class are they're way more competitive than in the junior class. So I think I'm gonna put her 6th.
Okay. Good pick. She was a 69 that moved up to 76. It's actually kind of interesting to see. I kind of like it. So in some countries, it's very simple where like whatever weight class you decide you are, that's it, and you just like care about yourself. But some countries, most notably, I would say France and Italy, are very strong in like certain weight classes, and like they actually as a team make decisions like, okay, I think we should like one of us should do this class. Like I know I heard like on podcasts like Corolla talking about how like she would talk to like Kiara and Sarah and like they would decide which weight classes to do. This way they could bring as many lifters as they can to internationals. And then like on the France side also, for sure I know like on the men, Coco Clement and then Clara's brother, Nicholas Perud, they also like one of them would compete like 105, the other one 120, even though they both were like really 105, just to like bring as much as they can to the international platform, which is definitely really cool to see, especially when like both lifters are like legitimately like podium threats. Like we're not talking about like a lifter who's placing like 12th and like changing weight classes. We're talking about lifters who are like switching just to help their country when they're like really competitive. So I think that's cool. Agata, who do you have at number 7?
I have Arrow Love at number 7 because she only competed once this year. With her total from the Europeans, she would have placed third at Open Worlds and first at Junior Worlds. I think she's really strong. She holds the junior deadlift world record at 263. And yeah, just the injury like kind of took away from her this year because she wasn't able to compete more and show us more of her strength. But I think if she gets healthy, she's going to be a strong contender in the 80% in the future.
Agreed. Leanne, who do you have for number 7?
I have Georgia. I know y'all talked about her a little bit, but um no, I think she's really strong. She is 22. So I think she's aging out, question mark. She does have a pretty high GLP. So I think I'm excited if she stays healthy. It looks like her last competition, she totaled a little bit less, but I think she has potential to keep building and get there eventually.
Yeah, she's a strong lifter, and I just checked, she is aging out. So
Yeah.
we will not see her back in the juniors. I guess we'll see her potentially on the open stage, depending on how things play out with other lifters in Italy, but she's definitely strong. Moving on to number 6. At number 6, I have Betty. So obviously this is what we already talked about you, but that deadlift is crazy. And Agata mentioned it, and it's a good point. I didn't even think about it that way. Like taking the open world record deadlift from Joy Namani is crazy. In my mind, Joy is the greatest deadlifter ever. I believe at one point she had the 47 world record deadlift. She definitely had the 52 world record deadlift. She definitely had the 57 world record deadlift. She had the 60, like she had it in all the classes. And at one point, I mean, it's been raised a lot since then, but at one point, I think she was like, she attempted like 240.5 at like a world or something, or at one of the competitions, which would have also given her the 69 world record. Like her deadlift is just absolutely crazy. Yeah, so taking that record is crazy. I also think Joy moves back to the 57, so we'll see. But what was it? Was 233? Is that the correct?
Yeah.
Your deadlift 233. Yeah. It's 233. Pretty crazy. You're going to keep pushing it, and you have another year in the juniors, correct?
Yeah.
So yeah, another year in the juniors. 233 open world record deadlift, 508 total. I mean, with one more year for sure, we're going to push these numbers for sure. Let's say 508 into the 520, 530s, who knows? And then that deadlift, like who knows, maybe close to maybe 240 or something. So I think definitely will be fun to watch out. And I assume you'll go to probably Junior Worlds and Open Worlds this year.
I'm probably gonna do Junior, Euros, and Worlds because it's my last year as a junior and I kind of want to get everything out of it. And if I would do Open Euros as well, that would mean I'd be doing 5 competitions in 1 year. So that might be quite a lot. So I'm choosing to do just Junior Nationals, probably Euro Muscle Show, and then Junior, Euros, and Worlds.
Okay, that's a lot. Agata's thinking 5 competitions is only a lot if it's in 1 month.
No, I think
Agata, would you do 5 in a month?
Why not? Just first week of the block, second, third, fourth.
Yeah, see, Agata would have been perfect in Texas, like Texas high school powerlifting, where they compete like every week.
But the thing is, Agata, you could win. Like you could win at RPE 4, so it would not be as taxing on your body. But if I would do that, I would have to go all out, and I would get crippled. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah,
that would be crazy. I could imagine like Agata just travel around Europe and do like competitions like every like 2 weeks, like 25 competitions in a year. And it's just like you look at open powerlifting and it's like you have to scroll for 5 minutes to get to the next year just because there's so many competitions.
Yeah, I
But
feel like when
to be
Agata
fair,
is used as like an example, it's like it's not comparable because she could just come in and just she could have a regular routine training day if she just hit some, low RPE singles. It's not high intensity. I mean,
Yeah.
Agata, how many competitions did you do in 2024?
I think 9. I'm not sure. But the thing is, I always say that I'm gonna take some of these comps easy, but then I come there and I just want to max out everything. So I end up going RP10 anyways, outside of maybe some national
Wow.
comps where I actually go easy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Also,
it's definitely a outlier scenario, right? And also like you could just come in like of those 9 competitions, how many were you actually supposed to like you said you came in and you ended up maxing out? How many of those competitions did you like end up maxing out as opposed to like we're only supposed to maybe max out 1 out of 3 lifts?
so the Arnold's, Euro Muscle Show, and Girl Power were supposed to be those more chill meets,
Yeah.
but yeah, I ended up going pretty heavy at all of them.
but
Wow.
you do 6 SBD days a week, right? Do you still do
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Right. So you could really compete. I mean, you could compete literally every single day, like because you know what I'm saying. Your rep work is still like, I mean, basically every single day, like every day, your rep work is still totaling over 500,
Her
right?
conditioning is
Probably.
up there for sure.
no.
Oh, really?
I'm doing like 60%
Yeah.
for reps on my lighter days, so
Okay,
definitely not going over.
probably 3 times a week.
Yeah, that would be yeah.
That's crazy. That's absolutely
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, I have like a lot of conversations with somebody I'm in a group chat with who's a meet director in the U.S. and he really wants to make a schedule where like where lifters compete like in a season where they compete like 8 times over like 3 months, like basically every week for like a few months, just to like have like because he wants to get it on TV and he thinks like in other sports you play like every week, so he wants to be like that. So he literally wants to find like 30 like 15 male agatas and 15 female agatas and just like make them compete every single week. So yeah,
Wow.
that would be nuts. Okay, we are moving on to Big Body. Who do you have at number 6?
So again, I'm gonna be here again in this class. I have Betty. Betty is an athlete where I saw you in the warm-up room at Junior Worlds in Malta. I had also seen you gain a little bit of steam on the internet before Junior Worlds. And obviously, as you know, we have Alba. And when I found out about you, I was like, who's that? And yes, you
Yeah.
are a very talented lifter, very, very special. That deadlift is absolutely impressive. You also have, in my opinion, a pretty solid squat. I know that the only miss that you had was the second attempt, and you really took it and you got it. So great props for that. Anytime a lifter misses a lift, comes back and you know completes the lift, that's something that I have a lot of respect for. Um, you went and finished with a 97.5 bench and then a 225 deadlift, totaling also 495. Just to add to my argument about how stacked that class was, that battle was also very impressive. Um, you could argue that you are some of the best uh, open women in the world, right? All 4 of you with Natalie, Angelina, Betty, and Alba, right? And then not to mention you guys are in the class of the mighty Meg, right? So um you weighed in at 62.3 and yeah, I mean I think you had a great performance. It's a stacked class. I do have you more in the middle range of my list, which I mean to be top 10 junior females in the world, that's the up and comers, right? You're very, very not only impressive on the junior stage, but also you can make the argument in the open stage. So I have Betty, I hope I say this right, Aborah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I have used the number 6 junior female in the world. Also, sorry, 109.09 GL. Very impressive performance.
All right. Thank you.
Wait. Unless I'm wrong, Betty, I have you down at 112 GL points.
Yeah,
She
I
didn't
think
meet
I had
afterwards, right?
109
yeah.
at Worlds, and then I did
Yeah.
112 at Euros.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, just make sure because I was like, I don't want to get it wrong. No
Yeah.
bad journalism. Okay, Betty, who do you have at number 6?
I actually messed up my order because I think I just said I had Clara at 6, but we were at 7. Yeah, I have Clara at 6.
Oh, so who did you switch it around with? Who did you have at 7?
I think I had Natalie. I notice I'm like I have a lot of names in the 63s because that's the class that I know the most people. But I also feel like the
you could just talk
63s are
about
just
since you talked about Clara before, you just talked about Natalie now, even though it's a little bit out of order, but it's fine.
Sorry, one more time.
Even though it's out of order, since you talked about Clara last time, you can just talk about Natalie now.
Yeah. No, I think she weighed in pretty light at Worlds. She was about I think 61 or 62. And I also think she has competed in the the 57s before. So she still has a lot of she still has a few kilos to fill up the weight class. And since she's pretty young as well, she's 21 or 22, she has 1 or 2 more years in the juniors. And her squat is insane. It's really insane. And I think her bench and her deadlift, she's kind of like a total specialist. She doesn't really have a lacking lift. And I think if you want to win, if you want to be one of the strongest people, it's really important to have all 3 lifts that are like high. And I think she's one of those people who has 3 very strong lifts.
Yeah. Agata, who do you have at number 6?
At number 6, I have Leanne with the 410 kilo total at 48 kilo body weight, which is pretty insane. And that would put her at 3rd place at Open Worlds. And she could even go against Jessica and maybe push each other. So in that scenario, she went at Open Worlds, which is really good. And yeah, just can't wait for her to come to the IPF and compete on the international stage.
Oh, thank you.
Leanne, who do you have?
Let me see my list. I have Alexis Jones. She
She's
she's
was a
not a
junior
junior
this year.
anymore. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
she competed in
aged out.
Open. She aged out.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. You have her. Don't worry about it.
It's because I knew her as a junior, so I didn't know that she aged out. But she did compete at the world stage. Yeah. I mean, you've seen her compete. She has a massive squat. She's had, I think she's totaled a lot more before. But I think it's only a matter of time that she reaches her baseline and even further.
Yeah, I mean, so I'd include her because she did age out this year from IPF standpoint. Open powerlifting is wrong sometimes because not wrong, but open powerlifting just uses what used to be considered juniors, which is if you're 23, whereas for IPF it depends on the year, your first year, so it's a little different. But I mean, she's crazy. I mean, I remember last year she was my number 1 junior lifter of the year. Last year, she was doing more. I think last year she totaled 721.5. She was over all the 84 pluses by a lot at that point. Now obviously it's changed, but so she is crazy strong. If she was a junior, then even on a down year, she would make my top 10 for sure. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to number 5. Now we're at the top half of this list, and I'll just preface it by saying anybody on this top 10 is insanely strong. But these next five for me are like even a step up. Like these next five, all five of them, like legitimately have a very good shot of winning open world this coming year. For number five, I chose Albert Bostrom. Crazy lifter. She actually has like she's a 596 stop, almost 600, a 121.4 GL points. She totaled 554 at 63 at Junior Worlds, which was crazy. She out totaled all the 69s, all the 76s, all the 84s, and I believe like would have came like second or third in the 84 pluses. She's just absolutely crazy. She has the 63 junior bench record and the 63 total record, and she's right under the open world record total. The open world record total is 557.5. She's 3.5 kilos away. We're going to see her competing in about a month at Sheffield, and we'll see what she does. I mean, I believe she'll break the open world record. I believe other lifters will also, so it probably will get pushed a solid 15 to 20 kilos. I expect the world record to be in the 63s, to be in the 570s after Sheffield. But for now, I mean, she's just crazy strong as a junior. I believe she's aging out, so she'll be in the open starting next year. But like I said, with the rest of my list, she has a very good shot to be winning open world titles, which is why I have her in my top five. Big Body, who do you have?
So the top five is very, very tough. A lot of the top five lifters on the female junior side are also some of the top in the open. So that's why like it's really hard. I'm gonna go ahead and put Tiffany Chapon there for me, number five. She's the open world champion for the 47s in 2024. She weighed in at 46.8. She hit two consecutive world record squats, 163, 165.5. She missed both of her benches and she missed her second deadlift. However, despite execution, it could have been much better. She's the open world champion. And when I think about that same scenario, I think about like a Chance Mitchell, right? And she did what it took in order to get the job done, right? And with the 433 world record total, obviously, this might be a hint towards something else later down the line. But for my list, at least, that was very, very impressive performance on the open stage. 120.54 GL with that open world performance, and I believe she maintained that as her best performance for the 2024 year. 569 dots, absolutely insane. So I have Tiffany Chapon, the reigning open world champion, Tiffany Chapon, as my number 5th junior female in the world.
Okay, good pick. Betty, who do you have for number five?
Yeah, I fully agree with you because she is still junior, but she's also very competitive in the open class. And she has been dominating the 47s for a very long time. And then there's someone else, but I think we're gonna go into that the next. I think we have the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Tiffany is very, very strong. So I put her at 5.
Okay, Agata, who do you have at number five?
I also have Alba at my number 5 for all the reasons that you said. It was pretty hard to decide on who to put on which spot in the top 5, but ultimately I decided to put Alba at number 5 because her performance from Junior Worlds was crazy. But when she was in the side battle at Open Worlds, she didn't really do that well, and she placed fourth. Her total was 30 kilos lower. She just didn't really perform well in a head-to-head battle. So to me, she's just not that great of a competitor in the Open. I hope she will do better in the future. Maybe she just felt a lot of pressure. But yeah, she's crazy strong as a junior, but her total just didn't hold up when she was in a tight battle. So that's why she is at number 5 and not higher.
Okay. Leanne, who do you have for number 5?
I also have Tiffany from her last world performance. From what I remember is that she missed her second deadlift and then came back and pulled her third. Despite her execution, she was still able to hold her world title. So I think that's awesome. I think she's very strong. I could probably speak a little bit more because she's in my class. But if her execution is, perfect, you can imagine like what she's able to do.
Yeah, so it's a little hard with Tiffany sometimes. The French like selection, for not for a lot of people, but especially for her, is they open really heavy and they take these small jumps. So it's like you're not going to see so much 9 for 9 just because like they're really the way I would phrase it is they're opening with second attempts. Like they just a lot of the lifters just open with second attempts. I'm not sure the strategy in that. Personally, I prefer to open with openers, but I mean it works. So yeah. Okay, we'll move on to number 4. At number 4, I have Jessica Espinal. She came second at Open Worlds, tried to take a huge jump on deadlift to pull for the win, but she came back at Junior Worlds and not only obviously Junior World record, but broke Tiffany's Open World record. Very impressive. Total 433.5 at 47, like a 121.1 GL score, which is really good, especially like it's really hard as a 47 to be that high. So that's really impressive. She's a crazy good lifter. She will have to battle every year to make it to Worlds even, which is crazy. But I think the battle next year, I think her versus Tiffany will just be like phenomenal. Like this, she's battled Tiffany already twice, but the last 2 years was like a little bit different. Like 2 years ago, like I don't think they were on the same level yet. So she was more like battling for the podium. And then this year it was closer, but it still wasn't all there. Now I think like they're legitimately rivals. And I think it's going to be like whoever just has the best day is going to be the one who wins. So that's my number 4 lifter. Big Body, who do you have at number 4?
Get out of my head. I believe I have to say Jessica Espinal as well. I know that a lot of people that are huge Jessica fans, which is totally understandable, they're like, how do you have her 4th on your list? Obviously one of the like standing out things is like, right, when that battle versus Tiffany, obviously it did hurt her in the Open, but this is one of the rare cases where I do have someone that lost in that battle slightly above, because down the line within the year, she did come back. She did not have, she did not have, and this also goes against some of my rules too. This is where she came into Junior Worlds and she was essentially what I call a script day. She was running a script day, right? Where you're so strong, there's just a script of attempt selections that you just need to come in, execute, run your plan. And for me, anytime that you can come in and break a world record and you do it on the world stage, I do have a lot of respect for that. And again, with some of those aspects within my personal criteria of what I value, things can be subject to change. I do work to be as objective as possible, but in this case, I mean, the women's side in the Open is so competitive that you could have made the argument, you could absolutely make the argument to put Jessica as a selection for Sheffield. There's certainly an argument there. But at the same time, there's other factors of why I believe she wasn't selected. And it's not necessarily based off of how good of a lifter she is or whatever the case may be. Just a side note, I think Sheffield, like, there's battles at Sheffield, right? And I think that sometimes you've gotta make the most compelling case for a show as well, because this is more of a, this is the show of champions, and I could go more into that discussion. It's a whole nother discussion. I definitely respect people's sentiments and opinions about that. She's a phenomenal lifter, very easily could have gotten that tournament, but yeah, going back to her junior world performance where she broke the world record, she weighed in at 46.65. I went 3 for 3 on squats with the 150 squat, 97.5, 3 for 3 as well on bench. And then had a perfect day, finishing off with the 186 junior world record deadlift, and broke the junior and open world record with 43.5, 121.07 GL. Absolutely insane. 571 dots. Congrats to Jessica Espinal on a phenomenal year. I have her number 4 as the number 4th best junior female in the world.
Okay, I just want to challenge you for a second, Big Body. I don't usually do this. I usually just like save my comments, but since we're comfortable, we've done a bunch of these, and I've seen your general philosophy of like your rankings, and I understand it. So I want to ask. Normally, when you're doing your rankings, you give a huge, like, I don't know if the word is bonus, but like you care very much about like those world head-to-head battles and like world championships. So I'm just curious why you picked Jess over Tiffany, even though Tiffany beat her head-to-head.
Because I think also time duration matters a lot, right? So like if you look at back in the summer, the beginning of the summer, right? They had that battle. You give someone a select amount of months, you come back down. What was if we look at Tiffany's total, let's pull this up so I can give you the clear context. So humor me very quickly as I pull this up because I want to give you everything. I'm pulling up the battle, the stats, the results back in that battle. Okay, here we go. So did I pull up the wrong one? Sorry. World Masters. Certain, there it is. So again, I mean, I think I slightly touched on it, but that battle was back in June, 23rd of June. That was the week of Lithuania Open Nationals, right? And at the time, I think the amount of improvement from 415, also there's a lot of details that come into play for me. Like she's a smaller lifter. So it's not like, obviously a 47 kg lifter cannot expand their total at the rate that a super heavyweight can, right? If we're talking about two totally polar opposite ends of the spectrum. So 15 key improvement within, what is that? Let's say June, beginning of September. So June, July. So we go July, August. So it's about 2 months. You come back to the world stage and you make a statement. Things like that. Sometimes there are things that have elements that stand out to me. And as I did mention before you had asked that question, it's like almost like a one-off, or it's not a one-off. I don't mean it in that connotation, but it's more so like it's not a common value within the aspects of my criteria that I normally go with. But when you come back within just a couple of months, you break the world record as a junior. And you could make an argument for Sheffield. I hold Sheffield in a high regard. Yes, she lost that battle by about 15-ish, or what is it, 18 keys, but she came back and then she broke that record. So one, I'm very excited for their battle. Two, she came back and corrected some things. She went perfect. Obviously, she didn't have a battle, but she made a case for herself to get into the Champions of Champions tournament, right? And she did that as a junior. And now I'm excited because now I have questions about what happens when Tiffany and Jessica battle again. So really, it comes down to I hold a lot of value for lifters that, let's say, if they fall short or don't perform to their best abilities, but they come back and they correct it, right? There's a lot of athletes like that, like Borenstein. Also, if we do the sub juniors, we refer back to the sub juniors males when I mentioned the young 83 Dylan. He he came back, like, obviously we know about his performance at Junior Worlds, but to come back and make the corrections, those things stand out for me. It speaks about resilience, it speaks about focus, it speaks about the ability to look at your performance, look at the weak spots, fix and make those corrections. So things like that, those things I hold in high regard. And she broke the open world record. So I feel like it's not a crazy thing for me to say. I did also mention, once again, it's rare that I'll make selections like that, although she lost in the head up battle. But yeah, that's some of the main reasons why I chose her just a slot above Tiffany.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
it's definitely a valid answer. I wasn't saying it. I wasn't challenging you as in I thought your pick was bad. I was just curious because of the way you normally make your picks. Like, end of the day, she does have the world record, and she did make progress. And I can't fault you for making that pick. I was curious as to your thought process.
Of course.
let me just put my 2 cents in, because you could also make the argument that she didn't perform as well at open worlds because she had direct opposition.
Of course.
And in that case, you have to be much more careful with your attempt selection. And when you don't have direct opposition, you can just kind of do what you want. So there's also that.
100%.
Yeah,
I
think
don't
that's a good
disagree with
point.
that. I don't disagree with that. Again, and I'll just finish, right? So people can be clear and understand on my logic and what makes sense in my head. That's a very true statement. And that is an element that on the world level that a lot of people, like, when they develop their opinions, and especially within my country here in America, a lot of people, like, you'll look at a very high inflated total or performance put up. And it's not, when I say inflated, it's not taking away or disrespecting, but it's completely different if you have to battle one person or 5 people or 8 people. I've seen eight athlete battle where it's like, if I reference back to Daytona Nationals here in the States, I believe it was like 2021 with the 83s. It was like every 83 that you had seen on social media. Not only are these 83s regarded and known on the world stage, but certainly on the American stage, that battle was incredible. But yeah, going back to your point, Agata, I 100% agree. It's not the same. You cannot just come in and run a script day. But again, this is a rare scenario where I'm just making an exception because she came in and she broke an open world record. And would she have done that if Tiffany was there? Right? That would have been, everyone has their thoughts and opinions there. It does raise the question to me of, she did tighten the gap within 2 months. It was a short period of time. She went with a perfect performance. Does she have a perfect performance if she battles? That remains to be, we got to see them go head up again. I do agree with that. There's a lot of things to consider, but again, it's one of the strongest things is that breaking the world record and coming back and doing that within a couple of months. I have respect for that. And so really this is more so of, I am rarely going against some of my highest values and my criteria. And I'm just really just paying some respects there because, it's a hard thing to do to break an open world record.
Okay. Let's move on. Betty, who do you have at number 4?
Yeah, I have Jessica as well. I don't really have much to add on because there's already there's a
Sorry.
lot said about her. No, she's just really strong. And I also think she's progressing pretty fast. I checked out her social media a bit and I saw she was hitting some very nice PRs. And I think someone else already said it, but at such a light body weight, putting on even like 2 or 3 kilos is already a lot. Um, Besides, I think she's also not cutting down every time she has to compete. I think I heard her say it in another podcast. Like I think cutting down is really something that can hold you back as a lifter, but since she can pretty much eat regularly, I think that also has a big like benefit for her. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that whenever she's gonna compete, if I would have to bet if um if Jessica and Tiffany would compete together, I would probably have to say Jessica would win.
Okay. Right. Like I mentioned when I was saying it, I think right now it would be very close. But I do agree. That's a good point you make about like, the not having to cut because obviously the 47 is not an easy class to make. Um, so having the advantage of being like under the class, like for a long term standpoint, like I think Jessica could stay in the class for a long time, whereas like Tiff like is already like cutting a decent amount. Like she probably could stay there for a little bit
Yeah.
longer, but the longer she stays there, the harder it'll be to make weight and the harder it'll be to really make like much progress because she's just already like really muscular, big, and just hard to make the class. So I would say like if I expect one of them to move up in like the next 2 or 3 years, it would be Tiff. But okay, let's move on to Agata. Who do you have at number 4?
I also have Jessica for all the same reasons you all mentioned. So yeah, not much to add there. She's just really strong. I honestly thought she would win against Tiffany at this year's Worlds, but I think the fact that she failed 12 of her benches on depth really like took away from her total at Open Worlds. So yeah, the next battle I think will be much closer between them.
I agree. Leanne, who do you have at number 4?
I mean, we all have the same one at this point, but Jessica, um, Jessica, she has had like a really high rate of progression. Just looking from February of 23, to the same time of 24, she's already put on like 15 keys to her total and then another 15, in a couple months. So I think with that type of rate of progression, she has much more um to show on the platform. And you've everyone's touched on like a little bit of what I wanted to say, but I think I mean, I'm excited as anyone is to watch Tiffany and Jessica battle it out. Because she did total more than Tiffany in the junior worlds. And just to see them together on the same platform, we'll see how the pressure affects either person.
Okay. Moving on to number 3. I think me and Agatha have the exact same top 5 in the exact same
Yeah.
order. So for me for number 3, I have Tiffany. She won, like we mentioned about her already. She won Worlds again. I think I just want to point out one thing, which is really crazy. We talk about like resumes and stuff when we're talking about like goats and like different things. And let's just talk about juniors for a second. She won her 4th Open World Championship while still being a junior. I think that's crazy. I'm pretty sure nobody's ever done that. I think I would. I haven't actually looked that up, but I would imagine not. I think Amanda definitely won a couple. I don't know if anyone's even won three as a junior yet, but to win her 4th is just crazy.
That's literally the only note that I left off regarding
Yeah.
her that I like literally didn't say, but like bad on me, good on you. But like that's like I just want to emphasize, sorry for interrupting. She won 4 world titles as a junior. Go ahead, Big Mike. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm happy I had that note because like end of the day, a lot of us are going to mention the same people and like we're going to say the same thing. So like whenever I have something to add, it's nice. Obviously, we're talking about 2024 rankings right now, so it doesn't like I'm not giving her a bonus because of it. I'm just pointing out like the craziness of it. but I don't think she needs a bonus to earn a top 3 spot. She won another open world championship. She had the open world record. It got broken afterwards, but she had it while she was competing. And she also has the squat and bench junior and open world records. And talking about squats, I mean, her squat is like really crazy. Like if you think about it, like in most of the weight classes, whoever has the squat world record, there's somebody like really close usually. Like it gets broken. I mean, if you look at just all the world records, like I've looked at them a lot of times over the last couple of weeks when I've been making these rankings, and they're almost all like from 2023 or 2024. They just get broken constantly. But like Tiffany is just on like a level above. Like her squat is 165.5, I think, and like there's nobody else really do 150. Like Jessica did it like in a not international meet, but like internationally, I think nobody else has done 150. Like she has an insane squat. She has a great bench, and she's just a great lifter. And for me, that is easy top 3. Yeah, just pointing out the bench. She has her world record's like 100 kilos, and I posted that 14-year-old this week. There's a 14-year-old 47 who benched 94 kilos. So that's just crazy to think about. But yeah, I mean, that was like one of the, and apparently she's actually benched more, but I can't find anything online. So I only have that because I spoke to Ilya from Russia, and he got me the video from the girl's mother. So that's how I got the video. But it's just crazy. The 47s are definitely like making crazy progress, and I think we'll probably see, I would say in the next 2 years, like by 2027, meaning I don't think it'll be done this year, and maybe not next year, but in the next few years, we'll probably see a 47 break into the 450s. And that's crazy to think about because as of literally less than 2 years ago, going into Sheffield in 2022, like the world record in the 52s was like 440 or something like that. Like obviously it's kind of pushed up a lot since then. So I think the 47s are leveling up and they're extremely competitive. Not only are they competitive now, which they haven't necessarily been at all times, but they're competitive while also like hitting crazy numbers. Big Body, who do you have at number 3?
This one's really tough. I'm gonna go ahead with Alba at number 3. She posted a 596 dots, 121.4 GLP. And being so close within the open world record as a junior. Obviously you're like, okay, you just put her on top of someone who just broke the world record. Alba had she had 3 other, again, it goes back to what Agata mentioned. And again, I think it's important for me on like when I have a criteria where a lot of things come into play. Most of the time, the level of strength of these pieces on my criteria usually weigh the heaviest, but then there are like some exceptions. And just the amount of progress that I've seen Alba, obviously there's going to be a bias here. I have a closer tie with her being on my team. I'm able to watch her progress. I know her personally, and just watch how she's improved from the open stage coming back. And you have, 3 other phenomenal lifters, just like Betty here, and the other 2 young ladies, with Natalie and Martinez. I mean, you just have, 4 great 63 junior women on that stage. Her performance, what really stuck out to me was like watching that performance in person. It was probably one of the most flawless performances, that I saw that week. It was just an excellent display of strength and execution. I watched her go through her recomp like on the day. She was like obviously I'm not making this choice because she had a phenomenal recomp, but like she was like like she was like just to the T. I mean, she timed her fluids, she timed everything. She was so detailed, very detail oriented. She was calm, she was focused. Her and Joe and the sweetest coaches together just put on just a phenomenal performance. And also one strong thing to, I don't know if this was mentioned earlier when you guys had her on your list, but she's the junior world's best lifter as well. And I just think that she just put up a phenomenal performance. She got her ticket and selection to go ahead, and I believe she's going to be battling Meg Scanlon at Sheffield. And that's just
And Leah.
and Leah. Yes, can't forget Leah. And I think she's not only one of the best junior women in the world, but she's also one of the best open. So yeah, if I just want to go ahead and pull this up briefly just so I give respects to her performance. We have, sorry for the delay. Anyways, as I'm waiting for, oh, here we go. Never mind, it's getting pulled up. With Alba in the 63s, she had put up she weighed in at 62.85. So she was of the heaviest 63s weighing in. She put up 193 squat record. She put up 133.5. Very impressive bench, in my opinion, for 63. Junior world and also world record. And then she put up a 227.5, like literally RP 10, nothing left in the tank deadlift. Perfect call on the money. 554 total. Junior world record, 121.39 GL. So yeah, I have Alba as the third best junior female in the world. Phenomenal performance. Congratulations to them.
Okay. Betty, who do you have for number 3?
I have Jad Jacob. I think she's really strong as well. Let me just pull up her numbers before I say something wrong. I think her last competition was Girl Power, where she did a 185 squat, a 102 and a half bench, and then a 227 deadlift. She even attempted 240, and I'm pretty sure she could have done it, but I think she said that she misplaced her grip. And if she would have pulled that 240, it would have been an unofficial world record. And even though she's still a junior, she's also very competitive in the open class, and she has been competing in the open for a very long time as well. So yeah, I'm gonna put her on 3rd place.
Okay. Agatha, who do you have at number 3?
As you said earlier, we have the exact same top 5. So I also have Tiffany at number 3. Yeah, I also wrote down to say that she won her 4th open world title this year. And I want to mention that she broke the total world record twice this year, first at Sheffield and then at Worlds. And then eventually Jessica broke it at Junior Worlds. But she recently posted a 437.5 kilo gym total. So I think she's gonna break that total world record again at Sheffield. She's just really strong and she won in that battle against Jessica. So she's my number 3 for all of those reasons.
Okay. Leanne, who do you have at number 3? You're muted.
I have Alba as my number 3. Just looking at her performance at the classic to the junior, just that jump is a 30 key increase. So that's a given. She is very strong. So I'm excited to see what she can put up this coming year.
Okay. On to our top 2. And we'll turn this around a little bit. And since I know that Agata has the same list as me, I'll let her start this way. She can go first before I say my whole thing. So Agata, who do you have at number 2?
I have Jad at number 2. She's just really strong. She won the battle against Natalie at Sheffield. She holds the total world record at 515.5. She didn't really have opposition at Open Worlds because Natalie had to pull out due to an injury, but I think they would just push that total even further, probably well into 520s, maybe 530s, because the open squat, deadlift, and total world records, and her bench isn't far behind, I believe, as well. Oh
Her
no, it
bench,
is. It is far behind because that bench was set before the depth rule was implemented. So, but yeah, she's just really strong. She's also her GL points to 122.5, which is in the top 10 in the open for sure. So yeah, just really strong, really well-rounded lifter.
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So of course, right, I also have Jod number 2. I just checked and she's number 4 on GL points.
Yeah.
Not number 4 in the juniors, number 4 in the open. She's a crazy strong lifter, like I mentioned. She's the squat, deadlift, and total junior and open world records. And it's kind of like crazy to me, even like that this was just her first world title. It feels like for the last like few years, she's just been one of the best lifters in the world. And I mean, she has been. She's been in other battles before, but for this to be like that first title that she gets after having like insanely close battles the last couple of years with Joy and Natalie is great. Um, she has, like we mentioned, the crazy GL. She has a 598 stop. She's like about to break into be one of the few to break into the 600. She's absolutely crazy. We'll see what she does at Sheffield. I mean, it'll be tough just because of the Sheffield scoring system. Like she can potentially have like a top 3 GL at Sheffield and like place like 10th just because of the way it's structured. Like it is what it is. But she's a crazy strong lifter and very deserving of the top 2 spot. Big Body, who do you have at number 2?
The same one. Again, with lists, I just want to preface like lists can be subject to change depending on how you feel at the time. Obviously, people have, I think it's really important to note that people have attachments and detachments for whatever the various reasons are. Certain people hold certain aspects in the criteria to higher regard. So, I mean, within the top 5, again, all these lifters, like you could, as we see here with different individuals, they're all swapping in different areas of a top 5 ranking, right? Um, but I have Jad. I think the only thing to mention is that I don't know if you guys just mentioned that, but Bobby Butters was who she also took on. Bobby Butters is also another high regarded 57 in the open. And so, that was a head up battle that she had came out victorious with. In the open performance, she had a 185 squat. It's very, very strong in my opinion. 100 bench. She missed her second and retook it and got it for 230 kg and finished with a 515. I believe it states that that's a record at the time and open.
What do you say?
I believe that was the open world record for the 57s.
Yeah, Jod has open world record.
Yeah. Where did she compete to further slightly boost her GL? Did she do another meet after
She's done a
open?
bunch. She did like she competed a few times here. I think her best GL was actually from Sheffield.
Earlier
Yeah.
that year? Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think you guys said a lot already. Jade Jacob, I think she's a phenomenal lifter. What we all were definitely anticipating to see her at Junior Worlds as well to add to the 63 class. Unfortunately, I believe she ran into some health complications. And I just want to give my deep, deep, deep heartfelt regards to her late coach. Stanley is a phenomenal guy. He's a sweetheart. Really hurts my heart to even mention this, but I just wanted to say that to the country of France. Your loss is definitely felt. Stanley, we love you. And yeah, my condolences to Team France and Jade. I have Jade as my number 2 best junior female in the world. She's a phenomenal lifter. Again, once again, these lifters can interchange. All of them are so phenomenal. It's a very hard list. All you ladies are making it really hard for us to choose a selection and who ranks in this list. But yeah, I have Jad Jacob as a number 2 junior female in the world.
Okay, Betty, what about you?
I think I had Elba. Yeah. I mean, her rate of progression from, I think, Open Euros till Junior Worlds, I think, was absolutely insane. The way she got so much stronger in such a short amount of time. Um, yeah. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. She's just really, really strong, and she's very competitive, not only in the juniors, but also in the opens. And I'm very excited to see what she's gonna do at Sheffield. She's probably gonna take the world record, but I'm gonna take it back.
Okay, Leanne, who do you have at number 2?
I also have Jod. Um, I mean, seeing her lifts, what she's able to hit in training, uh, the ceiling is high. Seeing that she put up at Sheffield and come this year, I feel like she'll be able to put on or to put on another show as well.
Okay, and now we are on to our number 1 lifter, and I'll just make a couple of points. I'm going to credit this person being the number 1 lifter to 2 reasons. The first reason is because she decided that it's about time to stop cheering for competitors to win. That's number 1. And number 2 is I'll just take personal full credit because we had her on, one of our first guests, about a year ago before her 2024 season started. And that's the reason why she had such a great season. But talking about season, let's just talk about Agata's 2024. I wrote down a nice list. In this year, she took the 69 kilo junior bench record, the 76 kilo junior bench record, the 84 kilo junior bench record, the 69 kilo junior deadlift record, the 76 kilo junior deadlift record, the 69 kilo junior total record, the 76 kilo junior total record, the 84 kilo junior total record, the 69 kilo open bench record, the 76 kilo open bench record, the 84 kilo open bench record, the 69 kilo open deadlift record, the 69 kilo open total record, the 76 kilo open total record. Wins Sheffield by a landslide and wins her first Worlds, which is crazy to think about that this is her first open classic world championship. Yeah, so I don't really think more needs to be said, but we'll all just add in our own pieces. I think it's just crazy. Oh, actually, there is more that needs to be said. So no. In 2021, Taylor famously became the first person to have all 3 formulas. He had IPF, GL score, DOTS, Wilks. Agata also now has that. She's the first female ever to do it. But unlike Taylor, it's not close. She has a 626 DOTS, which is about I think 17 points or 18 points higher than the next highest ever. She's a 127.4 GL points, which is just astronomical. It's hard to imagine. I remember I think last year 121 won best lifters at Worlds or something like that, and now we're talking way higher. I don't have a good perspective of what GL points even are. They're so new, where I'm so much more used to DOTS and that kind of stuff. She also has what is it? Let me check. I have this written down. A 614 Wilks, also highest ever. There's not much more to be said. This was the single most dominant season in powerlifting history. Between just doing 9 meets, and also I remember actually we were discussing this on my Sheffield preview last year, and I was saying, because Agata told me she'll do it, and I believed it based off training, that she's going to total 669. And everybody was doubting it. The people I did my podcast with, I listened to all the other podcasts, Female Lifts, this, that. They were all doubting it. Oh, she's definitely going to be in contention, but no one's 600, that's crazy. Not only did she do 669, she did 600 4 times this year, which is crazy. I mean, 600 has been done by no other 69 ever, by one other 76 ever, 1 or 2 times total. And just doing 69, 600 kilos, just every meet. ever meet 4 times. Another one was like 599. Like, I mean, it's just in terms of seasons, I think by far the greatest single season ever in powerlifting, and we'll see how the next season follows up. But that's all I'll say. I'll leave any other comments I might have missed the rest of you. Big Body, your turn.
I'm not gonna really add too much on this one. If any of you ladies want to add to it, I'll leave that for you, so you have some space to speak on her year. But yeah, I mean, Agata, we've never seen anything like you before in the sport, and it is incredibly rare. You certainly are a force within powerlifting. It is something that I want to inspire other lifters. When you see someone that is on this level, I want you to look at it and appreciate and continue to use that to inspire you to challenge yourself on just how great you can become. You have to understand that this sport is a combination of a lot of things. I just want to put something into perspective. Um, Within American football, uh, I pursued that sport for a while. And I'm not making this about me, but I'm just trying to put something in perspective where that experience of trying to make it to something like here, which is known really big sport, the National Football League, when you see athletes that are on such a rare spectrum, um, don't let that take away from your own process. I relate to that not only in powerlifting but in other sports as well, where um, you can spend a lot of time dwelling on how special an athlete is and comparing yourself, but just understand that thief is the compare of joy. And I just want to use this as an example to for all lifters watching that although Agata is where she's at, Leanne is also very special. Betty is also very special. These lifters are all together doing things that are not common, and they all work really hard as well. And you have to understand for perspective that some people like real biological reasonings help athletes be a better lifter in addition to their hard work, their studying, their consistency. And what I mean by that is like leverages genetics. There's just a lot of things. Some people have a great mindset, and that they may have the same or relative genetics or biological advantages, but their mindset is what may set one over the other. So, anyways, in talking about Agata, she's had a phenomenal year. We've never seen anything like it. Continue to be special in all that you do within this community worldwide and the sport worldwide. We appreciate you for the hard work and the special records that you break and the inspiration that you bring to all men and women around the world. It is the month of January, and I am looking forward to seeing you in Europe next in a couple of weeks. As you know, you have a pretty big battle coming up. I believe a lot of people have you as the favorite, and it's gonna be an amazing time. Sheffield is something that you get to watch the champions of champions go compete at, and I just want to say congratulations on this year that just passed. You had a phenomenal one. I'm not speaking on any more stats because I want to leave the floor for the ladies to touch on if they want to, but yeah, it's a unanimous, in my opinion, I believe it's going to be a unanimous decision. Agata is the number one junior in the world. You could also make an argument for something else, but we'll wait for that episode.
Thank you.
Okay, Betty, go.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you're sitting right here. You're absolutely amazing. It's insane how strong you are. And for me, you're a really big inspiration. Um, I remember seeing you at the Euro Muscle Show and seeing you in real life. I was like, oh my God, is that Agata? Um, no, it's just insane how quickly, especially how quickly you've grown. Because you haven't been competing for super long. When was your first competition?
In April 2019,
Yeah, it's 2019. So it's
almost 6
around,
years.
wow, time goes fast.
Yeah.
No, I don't expect anyone anytime soon to even come close to the numbers you're doing right now. And also to be someone that holds multiple world records in so many weight classes, like in the 69s, the 76, and the 84. That's just super, super rare. And I expect that you'll be someone that even in like 50 years, people will look back on powerlifting and they're gonna be like, you remember Agata, that super strong girl? Yeah. No, you're just insane. Amazing. You're like without a question number one.
Okay, Leanne, do you have anything to add?
I would just like to say I definitely did scroll, because of the amount of meets that you did this year. Give me a second. Um, and to see like a 600 dots, you don't see that. So that's awesome. And you make me want to do Nats next year. But no, for real. I'm excited to see what you can do at Sheffield this year. And I saw like a video of you talking about putting pressure on Amanda Lawrence. That's exciting. I got my heart pumping. No, you're amazing. There's nothing more to add on my end.
Okay, now I want to do something a little different. Instead of asking Agata to add on to her own thoughts about her number one lifter, I'll instead ask Agata, let's not talk about 2024. We all talk about 2024. Tell us about 2025 instead. What are your plans, goals, everything?
Yeah, so the plan for 2025 is, of course, going to Sheffield first at 69. And yeah, I hope I can have a shot at winning again. I mean, I think it's gonna be within the reach if I have a good day. It's gonna be doable, which is just so insane to think about. Like 2 years ago, I didn't even think about winning Sheffield once. And last year, when we managed to win, because like of course it's also my coach's, he puts a lot of work in this too. So when we managed to win Sheffield last year, I was just so happy, and I didn't think I could ever win Sheffield again. It was just like I didn't even think about it because Sheffield is structured in this way that if you win, that means you push the world record by the most. So you're probably not very likely to do this again next year. But yeah, I just had a really great year. A lot of things fell into place, and I'm here again going for the win. So that's crazy. Then I'm gonna do worlds at 69 to get the world title in the second weight class. And for the world games, I want to cut down a little bit more. I have to compete in the 69 or and 76 kilo weight class, so I can cut down to the 63s, unfortunately, because some people ask me to do this, but that would be too much. But I want to try to cut down to around 65 kilos for the World Games and try to hit 10 times body weight total and 140 GL points. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if I can keep my strength while cutting this much more, but that's just a fun little side quest that I thought I want to try to do. And yeah, and then I'm gonna start bulking to go up to the 81st for 2026.
Wait, I just want to interrupt for a second. If you're going to get down to 65, you're not going to give yourself one shot to try to find one meet to do at 63 and add some I'm
So
obviously
like
it might not be easy, but like add like maybe at least a bench or some other record just before you officially are done with that lightweight chapter.
I thought about it, but it just doesn't fit in my timeline because I can't really cut too much before the World Games. As I've said, I have to compete as a 69 at the World Games, and after that, I will have to start bulking because I want to go to the 81st for Worlds 2026. So it just doesn't fit anywhere. Plus, I'm most likely not going to go down to 65. I'll go down to like 66, 67 and just do a water cut and a gut cut and to lose the remaining 1 or 2 kilos.
Okay, sounds like a good schedule, and looking forward to watching these predictions come true again.
I don't mean to interrupt. Can I ask Agata just one or two questions? really
Go
quick?
for it.
Agata, can you explain to me what your mindset is in regards to training and how you sacrifice for the sport?
So in this very comfortable and lucky position that powerlifting is my job. So I literally only do this and I structure my life around training. Uh, yeah, I just go to the gym. I wake up, I eat breakfast, go to the gym, get back home, go for a walk to get my 10K steps every day, eat and go to sleep, and that's about it. If there are some other plans, I either try to fit training around it if I have something important to do outside of training, or I just sacrifice things for training. Uh, the closer I am to an important comp, the more strict I am with my uh, routine. So, no going out, no alcohol, just being very strict with my diet, very strict with my sleep, getting 9 to 10 hours of high quality sleep every day, getting all my steps in. If I'm farther away from a comp, I'm a little bit more flexible, but I really don't have many other things to do outside of lifting. So yeah, I don't usually have to sacrifice anything.
And what are the things that, just like you would say, a normal person intakes, and I'll explain why I'm asking these questions, and I'll be done very quickly here. What are like some normal citizen, world citizen things that you say you would do, like what you would imagine a normal person does? What are some of those normal things that you do outside of training?
Like, I don't know, most people have to work or go to school, if that's what you're asking.
No. I'm asking like, what are some normal things that you do? Like go to the movies, go to the mall. Like what? Because a lot of, I'll explain why I'm asking, but yeah, what are some normal things that you would say you do outside of training, just in terms of living a normal life?
I don't really do much. I do enjoy reading a book sometimes. I'm actually trying to cut down my screen time to read more because I used to read a lot, and that was like a big passion for me growing up. But then I've kind of just got addicted to my phone and I hate it. But yeah, outside of that, I will sometimes go out with friends, but not very often because that always comes with drinking alcohol, eating some junk food. So I usually will turn down offers to go out because I want to focus on training. So yeah, I'm really not doing much.
So and the reason why I ask is because what it seems like is that you live a fairly disciplined life, and um, it's. I just want to put into perspective as an inspiration. Again, this is not comparison, but again, we have to pay respects to when an individual does something that is rare, and I want it to be put into perspective of like, obviously you have great abilities, but also in addition to those abilities, you are choosing to live a very, what seems like, highly disciplined life in order to achieve these goals. And with high goals comes a high price to pay, which is like you said, like I know a lot of athletes that they're not willing to sacrifice going out or living a more uh outgoing life, or they're not willing to sacrifice alcohol or going out and having as much fun. Obviously your country is what provides you that full-time ability to lift, correct? They pay you, or it's also
Yeah.
through your sponsorships?
It's mainly from money prizes from meets because every
Mm,
time I win, it's like 4 or 5 times the money price in my currency. So that's
wow.
quite a lot of money for me. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. Because I know Timur, another junior, I'm pretty sure his government supports him and what he does. I may be wrong, but I know there's lifters that they're supported by the government. But yeah, I just wanted to ask those questions really quick, just to kind of put into perspective for up and coming lifters or inspiring lifters to understand kind of like, what does your situation look like, um, to obviously assist you to do what you do at the level that you do. I do believe that ultimately you have a degree of sacrifice that takes place for you to get to where you're at. But yeah, it's been a phenomenal past 2024. Thank you for answering the questions. Yeah, I appreciate you ladies. And thanks, Mike, for letting me get these questions. I was really curious because I was like, dude, Agata's on another level. Like, what do you do? Like, and even to hear your answer where you're just like, oh, maybe I want to read books more and get off my phone less. Like that kind of says everything for me in terms of like what your regimen is.
Like, to expand a little bit more on that, it might seem like this rigorous life and lots of sacrifices, but it doesn't feel like that to me. I've never been a really social person in my life, so I enjoy just this lifestyle that I live. I'm actually really happy that I can live this lifestyle where I don't have to do a lot of things outside of the gym, and I can just have this very structured daily routine. It's not a lot of stress, and that's very comfortable for me. So I actually don't see it as a sacrifice. I'm actually grateful that I can live this life.
I love that. Thank you.
Okay. Now what I want to do is just we all listed our top lifters. If anybody wants to list some like honorable mention, some people that like they thought about but just didn't make their list, or people to watch out like for 2025. I guess I'll start and just give a couple, and then you guys can follow. So just a couple that I want to mention are there's a 63 kilo lifter, Anna Bardova. She's also really young, I think like 2003. She's Russian, so she hasn't been on the international stage, but she totaled 505 at 63. She's definitely someone to watch out for. Another one is American 69, Carolyn Connor. She's crazy strong. She pulled for the win at Junior World. She didn't get it, but she's making crazy progress. Hit something massive in the gym recently. So definitely she's an honorable mention and someone to watch out for. Big Body, do you have a few you want to give?
Yeah, I just want to I want to speak to just lifters like Leanne Lee and other lifters from USAPL. Um, there's a lot of talent in that federation. If you weren't on a list or whatever the case may be, again, all these lists can be subjective. And again, people have their attachments. There's a lot of lifters to have to keep up with, quite frankly. And, you know, you can imagine they're just like on a world level stage. This is not, I don't even know how I'm working to be as humble and respectful as possible, but because the USAPL is not an affiliate of the IPF, I do pay attention for as best as I can with all the duties within the day on a daily period. Leanne, you certainly are. I saw your name on this list, and you certainly are a phenomenal talent. I'm sure you're going to make phenomenal progress moving forward. And I hope to see you at nationals in PA. It would be great. You would add to the wealth within that class in terms of talent. And yeah, I mean, I just want to say if you're not mentioned, there's so many lifters on this list that are phenomenal. If you're not mentioned, it's never a slight or anything. It's just that we only have 10 people on the list, and everyone has their different select criteria and their values. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. In terms of a lifter that's on the rise, I don't know if I have like there's no one that I overlook, but I don't know. I just want to touch back on Listis. Um, I know that we've seen lifters really quickly have burnout, whatever the case may be, and I'll just work to be super quick here. I don't want to see her stop powerlifting. I think she adds to the sport. I think she's special. I believe that if she does watch this, I would encourage her to continue to train and to continue to challenge herself, do some more research, and really look at, I mean, everyone has their reasons for why they don't lift. I know that she's big in social media and influencing, but I don't like, one of the saddest things in my opinion is like full potential not realized. And we don't know exactly what she could do. And if she were to somehow get down to within cutting range, because you can cut to a range of body weight where you can then, water load, water cut, and gut cut from. I myself have been able to work with some of my athletes where I've taken off 4 kilos off of super lightweight lifters like 66 kgs, and they've had almost no drop off in strength at all. So with her being much bigger, the percentage ranges having a little more flexibility, I believe that she could maybe do something special. I know she's a larger and taller woman, but I just wanted to, for any lifters that are maybe like in a scenario like hers, or maybe might be on the fence, or see phenomenal lifters like Betty, Leanne, and Agata, don't want you guys to lose inspiration and passion for the sport. Really make a hard decision and really look into what your life is and really understand why is it, are you actually burnt out, or are there other reasons that maybe just have you tired and you just need a break, and then you can come back and provide more to the sport and continue to lift. So that's really my message there.
Okay, great message. Big Body remembers. Usually I say to give a message and to say some upcoming lifters. So even without asking for the message, you said it either way.
I'm gonna give it.
Okay, Betty, you can do the same thing. Just give some any upcoming lifters or honorable mentions, and then also a message to any of the viewers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there probably have been people that I've overlooked. And that's because I actually only looked at the IPF, and I know there are more federations. That's also one of the reasons why I didn't include you, Leanne. Because I honestly didn't even it didn't even come up to my mind to include lifters from other federations. So definitely nothing personal. And with your I just did a little bit of a stalking session. With the amount of good lift points you have, I think you would definitely make the list if I just had looked you up beforehand.
No, I do not take offense to that. It's understandable. Looking at different federations, it is really hard to kind of find lifters from everywhere, but thank you.
You're welcome.
And do you want to give any message to people that are watching, like any of the upcoming lifters who are hoping to make this list in the future, or hoping to make it to nationals or make it to worlds, or whatever stage they're at? Anything you want to tell them?
I would probably just say keep going, because I feel like a lot of people just give up whenever they feel like they're not progressing fast enough. But I think if you really want to get at the top one day, you should probably just keep pushing, and you would how do I say it in English? It's better to go slow and steady than to make it a marathon. I mean, than to make it a sprint, and just sometimes you got to pace yourself. Some people just get so strong so fast, and they're like, I like this. I'm getting super strong super fast. I want to keep pushing myself. But then you risk getting injured, and sometimes those injuries can just make you lose all motivation and make you stop. So I think it's really important to just make it more of a long journey, look at yourself in the long term, and definitely do not rush things, because maybe you have a lot of potential, but you just want to go too fast, and that's something that can really set you back a lot.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Agata?
So from the people that I was considering but didn't make it on my list, I wanted to mention Georgia, Andorina, and Caroline from the 69s. They're all very strong lifters. They're making great progress, but yeah, I just ended up choosing someone else. But I'll be definitely looking at what they're doing in the upcoming year, and I think we're gonna see a lot more from the three of them. And as for the message, I would simply say stay consistent. As Betty said, a lot of people just, I don't know, get discouraged when they don't see the progress they want, but just stay consistent. Do what your program tells. Don't change your programs too often because you think something doesn't work. Because sometimes you just go through a block and it seems like there's no progress, but then you start the next block and the work from the previous block starts to show. So yeah, just stay consistent in what you're doing.
Okay. Leanne.
My honorable mention would be Sophia 14, and I'm mentioning a lot of the USAPL lifters because just encourage them to come over to IPF for sure. But just seeing like their strength, like she's able to do really well on the IPF, um, on the IPF
Stage.
stage area.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of message, I think a lot of people think, I mean, powerlifting takes a lot of consistency, dedication, but even when you don't have all the variables working with you, I think it's still possible to excel in the sport. I'm actually on the other end of Agata. I'm a night shift nurse and I only get 5 hours of sleep. On average, I barely have time to eat during my shifts. And when I'm off, like I'm sleeping, I'm chronically exhausted all the time. But even with that, it's possible. It's possible for the people who have things working against them when it feels like, oh, like I can't keep being consistent with training. I'm not disciplined enough. Like just show up. That's all it's needed to show up for yourself. And things will just I guess the cards will play out for you.
Okay, I think that's a great message because I think it's good to hear all aspects. Like for some people, the message they need to hear is that like if you want to do the best you can in the sport, just stay consistent, make sure your training's good, make sure your sleeping's good, make sure your eating's good. And for some people, that's what they need to hear. And there's other people. I was talking to somebody last night who had this issue. What they need to hear is that it's okay if you can't control all your variables because of whatever you have going on in life. Just do your best within your variables, and they're both important. Like some people, they just have like whatever you could like. You work the night shift as a night shift nurse. Some people have different schedules and they can't have everything perfectly aligned. So then for them, the most important thing is to make sure to do what you can with what you have, and that's very important. And then there's some people who really have no excuse not to have all the variables lined up. They're not doing much, but for those people, it's like, okay, if you really want to take the next step, then you really just got to have your variables set. So I think it was great to hear both those messages. Very important. I just want to thank you guys all so much for coming on. It was a great show. And any viewers that are still watching, thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this recording.